We are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports? We hope that you guys are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Huge show in store for you this morning as I'm trying to fix my camera as I kick the absolute shit out of it. I think my toe's bleeding. But nevertheless, we are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Zach, how does that look? How's the background look? Everything good? Everything looks good? Give me a thumbs up. Tell me everything looks good. Okay. But yes, we are live. We will be doing a Saturday morning show from today until college football is over. Welcome back. Welcome back, college football. I don't know how to put this. I get excited for Christmas morning. I look forward to Thanksgiving. There's a lot of things that I look forward to. This is my favorite day of the year. There's no questions about it. No thoughts, concerns. Guys, I was up at 7 o'clock. Couldn't move. I legitimately was about to run through a wall. College football is back, baby. And we'll have it for you here each and every Saturday morning. Times will vary as we'll be doing and launching through our good partners over at Believe, our own College Game Day SEC edition every Saturday morning. So it's going to be really fun. My buddy Joe DeLone is going to be joining us. Obviously, Zach and his Tim Tebow-sized haircut will be probably joining us. As it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be so much fun. So really looking forward to it. Lester Abear, who Lester knows where Big Daddy lives because, you know, one of his good buddies and my wife's cousin who lives right here. What's up, Lester? Lester says, it's like a family in here. Yeah. That's what it always is, brother. That's what it always is. A family. Well, let me say this, and to start off this, and I'll give you the rundown of what this morning's show will be. Brian Driscoll. We're not done with that one yet. If you haven't seen your boy from Irish Breakdown, he went on with our good buddy Preston Guy from TigerBait.com. Did not respond to me when I reached out to him. What was it, Wednesday or Thursday? So he did go on with Preston. So we will be addressing some of the things that he said in Preston Guy's show last night about Brian Kelly being a fit and pretty much a horrible human being. If Brian Driscoll wants to come on this show and he wants to debate, I know he went on with Preston, but he's more than welcome to do so. Come on, hurry. Hiya. You trying to be like Daddy? Benjamin, are you trying to be like Daddy? No. Yes or no? Are you trying to be like Daddy?
Yes or no?
Okay. So if this is your first time joining us, this is my son, Benjamin. Where did you get those? You went and stole them?
Yeah.
You little thief. But a good show. We'll be talking about LSU practice report this morning as the Tigers will be at practice in about an hour. We will not be there this morning. Preston and Mike will be there this morning, though, however, to give you a breakdown. Media only has, I think, 25, 30 minutes. 25, 30 minutes. But we'll give you a recap. We'll give you an update, some things that we want to see. The biggest thing is obviously no injuries. Guys, this is the last big practice that you'll have before the season before the season kicks off. So we'll talk about some things I'm hearing, some things that we're seeing, some good, some positive. Started talking to some of the guys at the staff late last night. So I'll give you some of the thought process that they feel, and it's really good. The staff feels really good. What's wrong, buddy? Your hand? Does it feel better? Okay. So we'll give you the vibe about the staff and how they feel. And as we do on these morning shows, hashtag Ask Blake. So if you have some questions, thoughts, concerns, anything, fire them inside the Rudy Crew chat, and we will get to as many of them as we can. Craig Schilling says the best co-host in the nation is the naked Jaybird Ben Ruffino. Say hey, Mr. Craig. Yeah, he is. He is. Zach said his nephew, Zeke, said Ben could be his friend. Do you want Zeke to be your friend?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, cool. Good thing. Big Jake, who just had his baby, congratulations to him, says, twinsies. 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 Jeez, dude. Like, the exorcism coming out or what? What?
What?
What? Hey, what does Stone Cold Steve Austin say? What? What?
What?
All right, let Daddy do his show. I love you. Go take care of Mommy. Can you close the door for Daddy? All right. It's my son Benjamin. Always. Always lovely. Tommy said Brian Driscoll sleeps with a BK pillow. I completely believe that he does. Lee McCaffrey says Driscoll or whatever his name is a prick. I also agree with that. Mark says, I miss Miles Brennan. What do you miss about Miles Brennan? Mark, comment back in the show. What do you miss about Miles Brennan? Do you miss him putting his teammates in harm's way before the beginning of the season, going to Toledo Brand and breaking his arm, tripping over a flip-flop, or not being a leader? What part do you miss? Look, at this point, guys, it's not a shot at Miles. Come on. At some point, someday, we'll have a full conversation about everything that went on. Kelly Gross says, good morning, Blake. College football is back. That is so true, Kelly. So true. I'm telling you, this is my favorite day of the year. It's not even close. Guys, I love my family. I love Megan. I love Ben. I love our unborn baby who's going to be here in November. I don't love Christmas more than I love the start of college football. Last year damn near broke me with Hurricane Ida and having to go back and forth. It broke me. This is, look, I like to fish. I like to hunt. I don't do it like college football is my thing, where people go hunting, fishing, all that kind of stuff. College football is my thing. It's not close, not remotely close. So anyway, Graham Kelly says, hashtag Ask Blake. I want a debate with Brian Driscoll. Poor Preston tried, but I think he bit off a little bit more than you chew. I don't necessarily believe that. I think Preston was trying to be actually, I don't think. Preston was trying to be professional, and when you get in those type of situations, you can't be professional. When the gloves come off, and we'll talk about that. That's how we're starting off the show. You can't be professional. When someone's interrupting you, mute their ass. Like, watch this. Zach, start speaking. It doesn't matter what you think. That's how you're supposed to do this. Gonna interrupt me? Hey, Zach. I'm very sorry. All right. Zach's gonna go back down and start producing. But that's how you got to treat it. Preston was just too professional. And there's nothing wrong with what he did. Nothing. He handled it perfectly in the way that he should have. Driscoll's just a douchebag. Clip it, send it to him. I don't care. Because when you start calling me a clown, that's when the gloves come off. It's the reason he won't come on this show. Never mind. I'm not even going to say that. Chris says, I heard Miles Brennan don't have to pay back the NIL money. Chris, he doesn't, but with all due respect, it doesn't, that has nothing to do with anything. Craig Schilling says, I'm saving these drops to what? Yeah, dude. Ben loves him some. Let me tell y'all a very quick pleasure, and we got to get to this Bet Online ad. But we're not going to play the commercial, Zach. I'm just going to read it out loud. He loves when I watch those what do you call those things? Like the YouTube clips, like the old WWE things. And, you know, I watch a lot of The Rock and Stone Cold, and it just sometimes comes on. And I go like on this YouTube deep dive, and Stone Cold goes, "What?" And he loses it. Aunt Marsh says, my boy drinking that wake and bake coffee. I am not drinking this is just normal coffee, but this is a cup from our good friends over at Gramco, thegramco.com. Go to thegramco.com. Use that promo code AYS25 at checkout. So let's do this. Zach, can you find this Bet Online cover? I don't know if we even have one in here. If we do, boy, I hope we do. There we go. Okay. Thank you, Zach. That's why I pay you all the big bucks. And Zach's going to be doing, I don't know if I was about to announce something I probably shouldn't have, but Zach's going to be doing something very massive for LSU football this upcoming week. We're going to be a part of it. So Zach, stay tuned after the show. But Zach, put it back up there for me. Guys, go over to betonline.ag. That's betonline.ag. Use your mobile device today to sign up. Use the promo code BELIEVE50. That's BELIEVE50 over at betonline.ag. You have a full day of betting on college football, your number one source and place to vote on all live betting and sports needs. That's betonline.ag. Betonline.ag. Okay. Questions, thoughts, concerns, we'll get to it. Why does everybody keep telling me pause? What did I say that was pause worthy? www.paulshub.com. That's going to live in infamy. Joseph Salou says, Blake, can you guess who this is? This is Mr. Perp. And Mr. Perp, I do got to ask you, why do you have a Bama banner on your Facebook? Come on, dog. Jeremiah Phillips says, I'm going to handle your lightweight, Blake. If you're talking about Driscoll, then yeah. So let's start off with that. If you missed it last night, and so you should go over to tigerbait.com and our Tigerbait YouTube page. I think it's LSU Tigers on Tigerbait. Yesterday, our buddy Preston Guy had on Brian Driscoll. And Brian Driscoll is a guy that covers the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And his page, site, all that stuff is called Irish Breakdown. Well, if you don't know by now you should know. Brian started all this off by going on Crane and Company and talking some mad shit, saying that LSU was a dumpster fire and all this kind of stuff. The thing that Preston did yesterday, though, and when they were doing this conversation, was Preston asked him a really good question. What do you consider a dumpster fire? And this dude says the Title IX investigation. So not only am I going to talk about the Title IX investigation and calling out the USA Today and other people, but going to call out Driscoll as well. So, guys, if you're an LSU fan, you remember the Title IX investigation. You remember the Sharon Lewis case that's still technically kind of ongoing. You remember some of the things that LSU was going through the last 2 years. Here's the problem and why we on this show call out the media for the absolute just crap that they pull. Because you have a national narrative that goes around about your program, right? Every time a story like Sharon Lewis suing LSU for $50 million. And when Brian Driscoll was putting together why LSU was a dumpster fire, he brought up, well, you're under investigation, the sexual assault charges. Well, what sexual assault charges? You mean the ones that got dropped? Or are you talking about Sharon Lewis, who we have audio proof of her trying to extort LSU for money? See, everybody thinks it was Gloria Scott in the Darius Geis case that was only extorting for money. You don't call someone like Sharon Lewis, which Gloria Scott, who said that Darius Geis said some very mean words to her, sexual, with all due respect, sexual innuendos at her at the Superdome. She apparently calls Sharon Lewis, and then Sharon Lewis calls the athletic department and says, now Miss Gloria wants her money. So at what point does Brian Driscoll say that this is a quote unquote dumpster, or I mean, Brian Driscoll say this is a quote unquote dumpster fire. If you're talking about LSU only playing a bowl game with 37 players, okay, just because they played with 37 players didn't mean that they had 37 players on their roster. The issue is where Orgeron, when he won the Natty in 2019, and what he led it to. What's funny is Notre Dame was the same exact dumpster fire when Brian Kelly took over. Your coaches sucked. Your team sucked. You couldn't win. I said this the other day. I'll say it again. Being a blue blood in college football means absolutely nothing. Means absolutely nothing when that football's kicked off today. Guys, Nebraska's a blue blood. It's a really good chance. I say a really good chance, but there's a chance that when Nebraska kicks the ball off today in Ireland against Northwestern, that Northwestern beats them. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think I'm going to take Nebraska in the points. Or maybe I'm just going to take the money line. I think I'm going to take Nebraska in the money line. Regardless, it doesn't matter who Nebraska is when that ball's kicked off. Guys, Notre Dame hasn't won a national title since 1988, and they believe that they can compare themselves to LSU. 4 national title appearances, 3 national titles that were won, and not only the toughest conference in all of college football, the toughest division in college football. We went down the laundry list of teams in the SEC West since 2010 when Brian Kelly took over that have won national titles, and this dude wants to come out here and say just outlandish stuff. Brian, you didn't do your homework. Sharon Lewis suing LSU for $50 million. The case got dropped in federal court. So let me throw this in here. This is why I call out people from the USA Today and some people from the Advocate. This is not at Wilson Alexander. Wilson's not a part of this. The reason I call these people out is because when the Sharon Lewis case is dropped, the USA Today and these other national media outlets don't go out here and report it because it does not fit their narrative. And guys, let's be truthful, and I'm not getting political. They make these kinds of things political. What they did in this Sharon Lewis case is they took her word as testimony. Biblical testimony is how they gave Sharon Lewis this stuff. It was never true. Are some things she probably said is true? I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. But some of the things that she's saying, it does not line up. And you know who believes that? A federal judge who didn't graduate from LSU, who went to Tulane, who really, really doesn't like LSU. This isn't a matter of is Sharon basically what this comes down to is Sharon Lewis right or wrong? Guys, she was wrong. Brian Driscoll didn't do his homework because the people at the stupid USA Today did not do their homework and took her word as gospel. So you get mad at me. Some of you get mad at me when I come out here and hoot and holler and yell and bitch and moan and complain. Do you know why now? Guys, we are on a social media platform 24/7. That is what our job is. That's what my job is. Here's a better question. If Brian Driscoll doesn't know stuff like that, do you think a 5-star recruit in the North knows that? Let's go back to Driscoll. Brian Driscoll is so naive about Notre Dame, he's lost his mind. Narcissists will interrupt you because when they're losing an argument, and that's exactly what happened to Preston yesterday. Constantly interrupting Preston. If he wants to come on this platform and debate this whole Brian Kelly thing. Look, if you didn't know, now you'll know. Brian Kelly and Brian Driscoll had a public beef. It got so bad where Brian Driscoll got his credentials pulled. Buddy, I hate to tell a guy like Brian Driscoll this, but when a coach goes 11-1 and gets you into the playoff, you shouldn't call for him to be fired. And then if you even do something like that, the crazy thing is Brian Driscoll's running out here trying to justify how Marcus Freeman can lead them over the hump and win a natty. Buddy, he's 0-1. You want to talk about how Brian Kelly handcuffed Tommy Reese, the OC at Notre Dame. Sounds good. I don't cover him. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I have no idea. Well, what in the Sam hell happened in that bowl game versus Oklahoma State when you couldn't score shit in the second half? See, the interesting thing about being a head coach is this. Sometimes you got to know when to pull your coordinators back so that you have the ability to go in and win a football game. Hey, instead of throwing it on 3rd and 3, even if we don't get it and we're up by 21, at least the clock continues to run. That is the calls that a head coach makes, and a guy like Brian Kelly and a call that he makes, whether you like it, love it, or hate it, is why he's had so much success. The bottom line to every college football fan is this. And this doesn't pertain to schools like Clemson, Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, and to so many others. LSU is closer to the tier of those teams than what Notre Dame is, and I don't care that you're getting to the playoff. The only thing in sports that matters is this. The only thing that matters in sports is winning national titles. The only thing in sports that matters, the reason you play the game is to win SEC and SEC titles or conference titles and national titles. If you're in a program that has the ability to do that. Notre Dame's not there yet. You want to say Brian Kelly peaked? Sounds good. You covered Brian Kelly longer than I did? Sounds good. But the one thing that you can't do, and this is the biggest argument to all of you Rudy Poo Notre Dame fans, don't you dare, Brian Driscoll, tell me that, don't you dare tell me that Brian Kelly is not a fit inside the state of Louisiana. Don't you dare. Guys, if you've lived in the South, it is not a comparison of being from the South. And let me throw this your way as well. Don't you dare tell me about what goes on in the state of Louisiana when you've never lived here or are from here. Guys, Louisiana is a pot of gumbo of people, different religions, different races, different political views, different food. You can go to 3 or 4 different parts of Louisiana and find a completely different culture. You don't find that in other states. Not trying to get political, but guys, we have a Democratic governor in this state. That doesn't happen in the South. My point being is this, is that Louisiana is so different from every other state in the South. You can't come in here and tell me what Brian Kelly is and is not going to do and how he is and is not going to fit. Because the best fit in LSU football's history is Ed Orgeron. He won you a national title and completely collapsed, even though he was 10-25 at Ole Miss. It is the stupidest argument that I've ever heard that someone wants to try to convince me, a man that has lived inside the state of Louisiana his entire life, and you want to try to convince me of what it is and isn't in this state. Let's go to the national titles over the last 20, 25 years, even 30 years. I'll even go back 30 years for LSU. You have 5 from Skip Berkman. You want to talk about fit, so let's talk about fit. 5 national titles for LSU baseball under Skip Bertman. The man was from Detroit, Michigan. Where is Detroit? Zach, can you put in the chat, where is Detroit, Michigan? Is it in the Midwest? Just put yes or no, whatever. I'm pretty sure it's in the Midwest. So you mean a guy that grew up in the Midwest won 5 national titles at LSU? Okay. What's even funnier than all of it is this for you Notre Dame fans. Paul Mainieri literally left Notre Dame to come to LSU to win a national title, and he did it. Not only did he do it, when he retired, he was the active winningest coach in college baseball. He got to another one, lost to an SEC foe. Sounds good. You want to talk about baseball? Not relative? Okay. Don't like that argument? Here you go. Where did Nick Saban come from? Where was he coaching? Oh, that's right, Michigan State. Where's Les Miles from again? Oh, Ohio. Interesting. 2 guys that came from the Midwest. So of all these national titles over the last 30 years that LSU's accumulated, which you have not, you have 0, and LSU's kicking your ass and everything, when it comes to a national title perspective, all those guys are either from or were coaching in the Midwest before they came here. Ed Orgeron was the only one from the South. Ed Orgeron was the only person from the state. It's a lazy take. Lazy people make lazy takes. I hope that we can move on from this and this guy. But I promise you this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and I put it on Twitter to Brian Driscoll, so don't say I won't say it to him. If you're going to call us a clown, if you're going to call me a clown, and then I challenge you to come on this show, or I challenge you to say that shit to my face, and you back down like a coward, don't say a word to me. Don't you dare say a word to me. I don't play those games. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Because if you want to come and say that to my face in this state that you have no idea anything about, those aren't words that you say that are going to be lightly. Okay. Let's get to a couple comments, Zach. Then we'll get to some LSU practice stuff. Then we will get to college football as a whole. So I'm just going to pick, and then we're going to go down. Fat Boy Slim says, good morning. Good football morning, church. Good morning, sir. Rob Boudreaux says, so is Notre Dame. Otis says, I love LSU. Mess on Notre Dame fighting losers. Fat Boy Slim says, Blake, get him on your show and give him the business, please. I've tried. He won't come on here. See, here's the thing, guys. I've had Brian Driscoll on his show twice. Not once did he even come close to remotely saying anything like that. Lions will be lions. And when the hyena comes in the lion's den, he knows he better be on his P's and Q's. Brandon Reese says, if the NCAA would have taken away national recruiting a long time ago, Notre Dame and some of those other blue bloods would have struggled like crazy. Well, why would they take a national recruiting away? Why would they take that away? Richie Evans says, Freeman is about to be 0-2. I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. He says, Ohio State, go clap them cheeks. So true, man. So true. Lars, who's so mad at Brian Kelly for not naming a starting quarterback. What's up, Lars? He says, I think a Ruffino Driscoll debate would be fire. Well, he's not. What I tell you, he's not going to do is he's not going to come up in AYS and start interrupting things. Rob Boudreaux says Les Miles was definitely not a fit. Guys, I gotta disagree with you. I think Les was a fit. Let me tell you why Les was a fit. Because Les won football games. At the end, sure. And look, and I don't mean this in the wrong way, and I'm not talking about off the field shit that Les did. Les won a lot of football games. It wasn't sexy. It wasn't pretty. They ran the football, they threw it occasionally, and they played good defense. Les won a lot of football games, man. You know what the fit is at LSU? Winning. The only thing that matters at LSU as a head coach is winning. It's the only thing that matters. Otis Autenberry on YouTube says, hello from Sterlington, Louisiana. I heard Sterlington put it on Neville. Was it Thursday? I did go. Let me say this very quickly, too. We'll be putting a high school segment in on Saturday mornings as well, I believe. We're going to be starting to go to a lot of these high school football games on Fridays. I went and saw Reese Mooney from Denham Springs last night. Kid can play. Got some things he needs to clean up a little bit, but like every high school quarterback, so does everybody else. Reese Mooney can play. He does such a good job at feeling out pressure and getting out of it. I think Liberty got a steal, if I'm being honest. Hugh Freeze got a steal. Chris English says, Blake, a guy from Ohio came down and won a natty. A guy from West Virginia came down and won a natty, but he was at Michigan State, but I get what you're saying. This guy's a clown, so stop giving him more fame by talking about him. Chris, that's not how this works, buddy. I love you to death. That's not how this works. It's not how this works. This is going to continue to go on. That's not how media works, brother. Lars says LSU fans are much more realistic about the future as opposed to Notre Dame fans. I do completely agree with that. The funny thing is, and Chance Babin says that Dale Brown's from North Dakota. And Chance, I agree with you there. I'm just talking about like guys that actually won national titles, but that's a very good point. It's a very, very good point. I'm not going to come out here and trash on Notre Dame fans. But when you make a statement and you call us a clown, that's when the gloves come off. Zach knows this more than anybody. I come out here, hoot, holler, so a lot of it, and guys, you know this too. Some of this is for show. We run what some would call a YouTube channel, but a TV show. It's entertainment. When we're serious, we're serious. When we're joking, we're joking. We know very well how to separate the two. You start taking personal attacks is when I start having issues. Because I promise you this, if there's one thing that you AYS fans need to know, or you LSU fans need to know, I'm not about that life. I'm not about that life. I mean, when I mean by what, let me clarify. I'm not about you talking shit on Twitter and you not coming back and saying anything. Or saying it to my face. I will confront you face to face about it. Let's do it. I'm not scared to go face to face with anyone. The only person that I get intimidated by sits right in here. She's 5'5" or 5'6" or 5'8". I don't know how. Megan, how tall are you? 5'6", 7, 8, whatever. She puts me in my place. Not this Rudy Poo with a goatee. A turd with a goatee. Graham Kelly says, what killed me was Brian said BK can't recruit in the South, and when he was told that they were number 6, he dismissed that counter with anything before signing day doesn't concern me. Anything before signing day doesn't concern me. The funny thing about that, they were 6 last year, Brian. And you know what? Who said this? Who put this comment up here? Graham Kelly. To that outlandish comment about from Brian Driscoll, from Brian Driscoll. The crazy thing is, then why are you bragging about Marcus Freeman being a great recruiter? It's an oxymoron, dude. Stupid. Last one, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk some LSU practice. Aunt Marshall says, they didn't put it on them, but yes, they won. Starting to will be the favorite in 3A again. I thought they won by like 17, and am I wrong by that? Am I wrong by that? Correct me, please. I'm serious. Please correct me. Travis Dyson, booty man himself, pause. Says Blake said he ain't going for none of that. No, I'm not going for none of that. You're gonna if you, as Boosie says, if you're gonna talk shit, if you're gonna run your mouth, if you want some gangsters in front of your house, we'll set it off. I am not about the life of the Twitter fingers. When it's serious, this is serious. It's serious. I'm not playing that. I don't play that game. All right, let's talk about our good friends over at Gramco, guys. We will be back literally in 1 minute. Let's talk about some LSU. Let's talk about some LSU football practice, as they'll be really teeing it off for practice here at 10:45. So let's talk some things. Is a quarterback about to be announced? Stay tuned. Guys, I've got to talk to you about our good friends over at Gramco. They are the Delta 8 company based out of the state of Florida. They're founded by college football junkies just like you and I am not sure if you're familiar with Delta 8, but you need to be. Gramco is the absolute leader in this field, and they have phenomenal products that I just need to tell you about. First off is the Wake and Bake coffee that is absolutely spectacular. The gummies are as well, as they're the best in the market. So go to thegramco.com right now and use the promo code AYS25. That's thegramco.com, AYS25 promo code to get 25% off of your order. Jump on this fast, as it is perfect for holidays, anniversaries, and everyday use. Gramco is hemp-derived and completely legal inside of the state of Louisiana. No medical card is needed, and shipping is very discreet. You must be 21 years older to order. Again, that's thegramco.com. Use that promo code AYS25. Ken Mallory says, got Blake quoting the great Boosie now. Yeah, I like quoting rap lyrics. It's kind of one of my favorite, and not rapping them. You know what I mean? Like quote, like just saying them like normal. You know, like I like doing it for Drake lyrics the best. What does he go? I think I need some Robitussin. I think I need some Robitussin. Wayne's pretty good. Wayne's pretty good to do that too. You know, he's probably the best. I can't think any. It's got to come to me. You put me on the spot. You put me on the spot. Tyler says, almost go time, baby. Guess I'll be watching my first LSU game in Bama. Ugh. Yuck. And Marshall says, no, they won 10-6 or 10-7. Yeah, I thank you for thank you for correcting me there. That's my bad, Aunt. I should have been better on the scores. Should have been better on the scores. I wasn't really paying attention. That's my worry. Trey Patton says, any worries about the kicking situation? Trey, let's start off with practice. Let's talk about some LSU as they kick it off in 20 minutes. Yeah, for me, there's some worries. Brian Polian, who I think is a good coach. I really do. And I don't really worry about it necessarily. I think that he can fix things. He said that Ramos, who's going to be your kicker, at least your place kicker, hit a 54-yard field goal in practice or scrimmage or something like that. Yeah, okay. I haven't seen enough of it, guys, if I'm being honest. I haven't seen enough special teams to where I can come out here and say that I feel good or bad on either one. I will tell you, I do have some worries though, because I would go over there and look at them, and it did kind of worry me a little bit. Like, as an example, like, what's up with Peyton Todd? I think Jack Bramlett is a good punter. I think he was a good punter at I think he was a good punter at Notre Dame. I think he'll be fine here. My only issue is that can they consistently make field goals when they get to the 30? Can they consistently, down some punts? And I think that they can. And can they kick the ball out in the end zone? And I think I think Brian Pauling was dead spot on about to LSU fans. I do think that we were a little spoiled about oh God, what was the punter's name last year? The kid from Auburn. Why is his name? He was ward number 18. Why is his name slipping me? Zach, what was his name? God, why is his name slipping me? Atkins. Yeah, there you go. Atkins. Why do I want to call it? See, this is why I didn't say it, because I wanted to call him Tracy Atkins. And Tracy Atkins is a country singer. Avery Atkins. Thank you. I kept wanting to call him Tracy Atkins. I'm like, he doesn't sing, I'm going to take my horse to the old town road. I'm going to ride till I can't no more. I got the horses in the back. Isn't that Trace Atkins? Guys, I know it's not Trace Atkins. I'm just making a joke. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna. Josh Forbes says, no, Blake, no. So look, practice is kicking off today. I know. Guys, come on. I'm just fooling around, bro. I'm just fooling around. Come on, man. All right, so with practice kicking off, guys, I really don't. Billy Ray Cyrus. Yeah, I know it was Little Nas X. Zach, what do I look like to you? Zach, what do I look like to you? Guys, really and truthfully, the biggest thing for today is, this is just me. We're not going to be attending today. Nothing wrong with us attending or not attending. I mean, I'm not going to go for 20 minutes worth of warm-ups, stretching. But Brian Kelly does have a press conference today, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look that up. So, and I'll correct myself if I'm wrong, but I think he's doing a press conference today. And if he does, we could expect that, a quarterback to be named. Look, I'm going to go out here and say this. I'm going to say this, and I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, rip me. If I'm right, rip me some more. It really doesn't matter. Talking to some people around the staff this week, it's of my opinion, and they didn't give me any of this. So let me make this very well known. They didn't tell me, nor am I reporting, announcing anything like that. This is just strictly opinion. Just to say it again, this is all opinion. I think when it comes down to the quarterback position, it's going to be Jayden Daniels that runs out there first. I'm kind of to the point where if Garrett is announced as the first guy that runs out there, I would be a little bit shocked. That's not to say he won't be, because he could have had good days this week that we were not able to see, and he maybe could have pushed himself as the starter. The bottom line is this. To me, and I've said this religiously. It does not matter to me which guy runs out there first. Both of them are going to play. So I know that there's a lot of worry from LSU fans. Who's going to be the quarterback? Who's going to be the first guy out there? Guys, if we're being honest, it doesn't really matter. It does not matter which guy's going to run out there first, because both of them will play. in my opinion, unless if it's Garrett and Garrett runs out there and he balls out, or if Jaden runs out there and Jaden balls out, maybe they don't. But I just don't know if the moment right now is going to be too big for Garrett Nussmeier. Guys, and this is a take that you guys won't like a lot. I still believe that the moment was still a little, I don't want to say too big, but the moment was big for Joe Burrow when he took the first snap for LSU against Miami. The difference, though, is LSU and Ed Orgeron wasn't under the amount of pressure that that I think that Brian Kelly and LSU might be under. Brian Kelly's not under any pressure, really. It's just more of the perception from the fans and LSU as a whole. LSU needs to come out here next Sunday and really just beat up on Florida State. I don't know if they're going to do that. Regardless, there is some pressure. I think Jaden does give you the experience factor that can help you in those situations because he's been there before. Garrett has not been there before. Not only has Garrett not been there before in college, really and truthfully, he hasn't had a lot of those experiences in high school. He's had some, but not to this level. So for that reason, I'm going to lean. I'm going to lean to Daniels. Robert Johnson says Daniel has 60 starts, Nuss has 1. Jane Daniels does not have 60 starts. He has 30 starts, and Garrett Nussmeier has never started a game. He did not start against Arkansas. He came in off the bench versus Arkansas. So we'll see. Defensively, guys, just don't get anybody hurt. I would run some of the backup guys out there, maybe go through some of the motions. But who am I to tell Brian Kelly what he should and shouldn't do? He knows what he needs to do, and he knows what he's going to do. And he's been here before. So Brian Kelly knows exactly what he's doing. I just don't want to see anybody hurt. I don't want to see anybody get tripped up. I just want to, let's go through the motions. Then let's get back here, regroup on a Monday, get practice underway, and then let's go for the week. And I don't know if a starter is going to be announced today. I don't know what Brian Kelly is going to say after today. But we'll see. I will say this. Of all the press conferences, I'm tuning into this one the most. I don't know if he's going to name a starter, and I think he said that they're just going to announce it on a Monday or Tuesday. Maybe so. But we'll see. I'm going to be really interested to see what he says. Travis Dyson says, and stop bashing Miles Brennan. Guys, here's the truth. And Travis, you need to hear this. And you won't hear it. You won't receive it. Okay? Because you have your mind made up. The truth is Miles wasn't ready to come back. Guys, he retired from football. If he really wanted to play and he really thought he was ready and he really thought he could make a difference and he really thought he could win and he really thought he can go to the NFL, he wouldn't have retired from football. Guys, he retired. He didn't just go in the portal or something like that. Guys, he retired. And now you guys are mad at me for just reporting what the truth is. Guys, you can come out here and get mad at me all the live long day. That's fine. But when the truth comes out and the reality sets in and the things that we're talking about actually comes to fruition, guys, and I've said this before, Travis, it behooves me. Meaning it benefits me if I were to come out here to the LSU fan base and say Miles Brennan is killing it. The views go up when we talk Brennan. The views skyrocket when we say that he's looking good. I'm not going to do that for clicks and likes. What is the truth? Because here's what the truth is. Here's the sodium pentothal, or whatever you say that, the truth serum. Here's what the truth serum is. When the ball gets kicked off on Saturdays, everything that I say is either going to be number 1, right, or number 2, wrong. So it does not, guys, it does not benefit me in the slightest to go out to practice, see what we see, and to run back in here and lie. Nor would I lie about it. And then here's the funny thing. Y'all argue me when we're at practice versus guys that aren't even there. It is hilarious to me. It is damn right comical to me. I legitimately, when I see those tweets, literally laugh out loud. Chad Briscoe says, Blake, I visited with our man, Father Abear, last night under some Friday night lights. I love it. I love it. Star Zeus's comment, we'll bring the little man back in here after we're done. Zach says Miles was done with football before he was done with football. Look, take this, screenshot it, bring it to the bank. This is a very great way of saying it. Zach our producer is 1,000% right. And y'all should listen to him on Fridays. Your boy's going to be on there, and I think next Friday, is it my day next Friday? I'll be on there with them next Friday. Mr. Perp said something or was it Mr. Perp or somebody else? Mike Tiger, excuse me. Says, any news on John Emery? Not that I know of. And from what I understand, they're not even really going hard through the appeal process. Oh, God. I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy to go off on Mark Emmert. Guys, you know who Mark Emmert is? Let me tell you who Mark Emmert is. The NCAA president. Mark Emmert is the guy that on Saturday mornings when you go out to breakfast and get breakfast, you go get donuts for the kids or whatever. You go to Waffle House with the family or wherever you go to breakfast, a little local diner. Mark Emmert is the guy that's sitting in there with a group of buddies of his. They're around the same age. And he's either wearing one of two things. Either, number one, he's wearing really short shorts, khaki shorts, or jean shorts. He's got New Balance, white New Balances, like the white man New Balances with tube socks on. And he's either got a red polo shirt or a white polo shirt on. That's who Mark Emmert is, and y'all are letting that man run the NCAA. Shame on all of us. Shame on all of us. Debbie says, good point about Miles Brennan retiring. Debbie, and that's the point. It's not a slight at him. Like when we say something like that, people get mad, right? Like people get 1,000% mad. The truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. So look, I'm really just coming in here and watching what Brian Kelly says today. I want to see how the backs look. And I know Zach brought this up last night. And he says devil's advocate about Kane and Goodwin. Go to Zach's the Tigers Avenue podcast and go listen to it. So look, guys, we're here. There's nothing I can come out here and say that's going to change anything, do anything. The only thing that we have to monitor at this point before the playing portion on next Sunday is, can you limit injuries? It's the only thing that matters, limiting injuries. Because there's not a lot you're going to put in within a week that's going to change a whole lot of things. Chad Briscoe says, no, not the tube socks. It's true. Chris English says, heard your Bill King radio portion about him needing to retire right now. I completely agree. The man needs to just go. Auburn looking for a new AD. He can always get a job there. He'd F that up too. He'd do that too. So I don't. It doesn't bother me. All right, so let's do this. Let's wrap the show up. Did we miss anything? Oh, college football is back. So let me talk about this. So we got some big games today. At 4:00, Florida State kicks off against Duquesne. Where Duquesne is, I have no idea. I have no idea. Chris, Pooh Bear is at his son's football game. And why, Chris, why are you always coming up in here being messy? Ben! I think Ben and Megan are outside. I was going to let Ben come in and finish the show off. Benjamin! Okay. Guess they're not in here. Chris always be coming up here being messy. Dude, you the messiest man I've ever met in my life. Look at him. Look at his face. That face says, I'm messy. Chris hears a secret. He goes and tells everybody in the small town. He goes to the local Krispy Kreme. He goes to the local Sugar Shack. I'm like, hey, you heard about Beth? Or no. That's how he says, oh, you heard about Zach from Tigers Avenue podcast? Got a new girlfriend. Yeah. Got a new girlfriend. Zach told me that she was a dime. That's the top of the line. Slim face, cute face, slim waist with a big behind. That's who Chris is. That's who Chris is. Josh Forbes says Franklinton got beat bad. Maybe next time they'll listen to me. Stupid asses. All right, let's get out of here. We'll see you guys again soon. Let's go watch some college football. It kicks off in 30 minutes. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really, really, really fun. Zach dropping some big things early next week. You can hear this deep, sensual voice on it. Hello. All right, guys. We'll see y'all soon. We'll see y'all either tomorrow or Monday. We might pick up a show back tomorrow. Saints look good. I need to talk about them eventually. And we'll do that. Until then, we'll see y'all soon. Y'all have a good morning. Have a good day. Have a good night. Go get you some Gramco. Have a good day. Chill out. Peace out, Girl Scouts.